Hey everyone, it's JT. So listen, yesterday I introduced the idea of a career story to all of you. And if you didn't get a chance to see that video, I'm of course going to put it in the link below. I talked about the fact that every single one of us as human beings create these stories in our head that go on constant repeat that define and explain who we are as a professional and how we got to where we are today. What's really important to understand about that, and what I want to talk about today, is that the number one mistake that people make that is actually quite career limiting is assigning negative or positive value to the experiences that you've had in your career. So let me walk you through that a bit. As you've had experiences, you have decided whether or not they have served you or not, whether you felt pain or you felt joy. And so you assigned value and said, hey, that was a good experience or that was a bad experience. And from that, you've made decisions about your career going forward. And as I mentioned yesterday, that can often mean that we have avoided situations because we've assigned a negative value or negative experience to something in our career. This is such a career limiting move. I cannot even begin to explain it to you. And when I work with people inside the Work It Daily platform, we start to dig into their career story. One of the things we do is teach them a technique to go through and objectively assess value, how they've been assigning value to their career story. And then we actually have them tally it up, and they're able to look at it and understand how that's impacting their overall career success. It's really amazing. It's basically we kind of engineer and take some math and logic to this process. But the reason I want you to think about that is sometimes something happens to us and we think it's the worst thing in the world that could happen. We're so upset about it, only to find out a week, a month, a year, 10 years later that it was probably one of the most powerful, impactful, positive things that could ever happen to us. And I personally understand this because before I became a career coach, I was in HR and recruiting, and my specialty was restructuring divisions of companies. So if any of you have ever watched the movie Up in the Air with George Clooney, that was my job. In my lifetime, I have outsourced, restructured, laid off, whatever you want to call it, literally hundreds of people in my former career. And it was a very, very painful, difficult thing to do. But looking back, it's actually where I learned to become a career coach, because I was so focused on any of those people needing help, support, resources, helping them find that next job. Also, I really sat them down and said, look, this is the beginning of your life, new chapter in your life. I was career coaching them right out of the gate. And it would always inspire me when I would get an email or a phone call, or I would run into them later on and they would say, I was sure that was my darkest day, the day that you had to let me go, but it turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me. See what I mean there? You can't define value. You can't assign positive and negatives, especially negative, to career situations, because they limit you. And when you change your thought process around that, you can rewrite your career story in an instant. And that, my friends, is the secret to opening up a world of possibilities in your career, which leads to what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Because in tomorrow's video, I'm going to teach you why it's really important to own every experience we've had in our life, and I'm going to explain what own means and how it's going to catapult your career when you learn how to do that. And it's not an easy thing, but it is a total game changer. And I will tell you, the most successful people in the world, the people that you truly admire, that you can't believe the level of career success they have, they know how to apply this technique that I'm going to share with you tomorrow. Okay? So come back and watch it tomorrow. In the meantime, do the homework. Ask yourself, be honest. Have you been looking at your history, your career history, and assigning negative value? That was a bad experience. That was a negative thing. If so, you need to isolate those things and really think them through. Okay? All right. Questions, comments, feedback, you know what to do. Put them in the comments below. And of course, if you want to share with me any aha moments you have around this, or your own experiences around changing negative experiences and rethinking them in the context of your career, I would love to hear your stories as well. Okay? All right. Thanks, team. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.